Okay, good morning. At least this morning here. This video will be for all you detailers that are trying to get in the business. Everyone else, you guys can just leave right now because you're probably going to be bored. Anyhow, there's a couple moments, just like every moment in my day, it's like, okay, what can I teach you guys? What can I teach you guys? Because there's far more to being successful at detailing than just knowing proper products and techniques, okay? Far more to it. And this is that balancing act that I'm going to drive home more and more and more of my videos, which is perfection versus profitability. Because there is a winning balance, and that's the difficulty, is finding that winning balance. I think I found it, at least for my world, and that's a good thing about detailing, is that it can be anything you want. But unfortunately, a lot of you will get bogged down with perfection because you consider yourself an artisan, a true craftsperson, and you take pride, and that's a good thing. But you will burn yourself out very quickly if you don't learn how to become profitable. So that's part of these tutorial videos, is taking what I learn day to day, and I still learn stuff day to day. So I'm out there, I get this phone call today or this morning, so let me set up the context for you. Because the first learning point of the video is that rarely will people present the situation as it really is. So I get this call from this guy, left a voice message because it was before I even woke up, because he's that anxious. And trust me, a lot of detailing is impulsive. People suddenly think, oh my gosh, my car's a disaster, I've been living with it, I just want to get it done today. And they reach out, and if you're available, you get the job. So anyhow, I heard his message, and he tells me, hey, I've got this Jeep Wrangler, it's got some touch-up work that needs done, got some rock chips. I'm in Laguna Beach, which for all you that don't live in Orange County, that's in South Orange County. I actually live in more North Orange County. It's literally right at the beach. And he says, I've got this Wrangler this morning. And when someone says this morning or today, that's code for they're essentially looking for someone to drop everything and come running out and service their car. And in many ways, that's a good thing because that's convenience. People are willing to pay for convenience. Okay, so then I call him back. He left a message. I call him back, get him on the phone. I start asking him questions. In my head, I already know that as a rule, I'm not going to go out. The simple rule is I'm not leaving this house for less than 150 bucks. Now I can do touch-up paint from anywhere from 80 to 150 bucks, and that will take care of about 80% of the cars. So when he's telling me he's got a car that needs some touch-up work done on it, and he lives in South County, which is like 25 miles from me, I already know that I'm probably not going to want the job. But out of respect, because that's how I operate, I'm going to call him back regardless, just to say, hey, you know what, I don't think we're a good fit. Not because I can't do it, but because I'm going to have to charge you more just for the travel time. So I get him on the phone, and this is what he says. Yeah, I've got a Jeep Wrangler. It had some rock chips on it, and I touched it up, and I didn't like the job I did. I touched it up in a few spots. There's the key word, a few spots. And so I said, oh, so it sounds like maybe you've got a classic case of road rash. He goes, no, I think it actually happened when I first got the Jeep. The Jeep only has 20,000 miles on it. And I said, oh, okay, so maybe you ran through some stuff, there was some gravel on the road, whatever. And he says, yeah, that's probably what happened. I touched up in a few spots. There's that word again. And I said, oh, I know the drill. Trust me, you're not alone. People, they get the touch-up paint from the factory or from the dealership, and they go out there, and now it looks like you got a bunch of colored bird droppings all over your car, and now it casts its own shadow, and it doesn't look very good, right? He goes, yeah, exactly. And he goes, I actually have the paint for you, so if you need that. And I said, well, it really doesn't matter because I have a full touch-up kit. I can custom blend it in the spot, but if you have the factory touch-up paint, it's usually a pretty good match with the color, so I can pick and choose. That's the point. And he goes, oh yeah, sounds like you know what you're doing. And I said, well, I do. I've been doing it for quite a while. I'm a big fan of the process, but part of my goal is when I talk to people on the phone, and this is what I'm literally saying to them, is that I want to manage their expectations. Because a lot of people, when they think of touch-up paint, they have a misconception, a unrealistic expectation of the process. So just so you know, it's not going to be like your car. I'm not going to come out there and sand it and repaint it and it's going to look like it rolled out of the body shop when I'm done, okay? That's not what it's going to be. What I describe it as is like permanent makeup on a woman, okay? We all know it's there. We can all see it. And the closer we get to a woman's face, the more the blemishes and flaws are going to reveal themselves, right? But we appreciate the effort, women. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. I'm a fan of it. But the closer you get, the more flaws you're going to see. And it's the same with your car. So I'm going to improve it, and it will be pretty dramatic in a lot of cases, so that when you're standing there looking at your car from normal viewing distances, those chips, they're not going to jump out at you. Most people won't even know they're there because you would have to go around and point them out to them. So this is what I'm telling him, and he goes, oh yeah, sounds like you know what you're doing. I said, but you know what? To be perfectly honest with you, I don't think it's going to be a good fit. Okay, I had to cut it because that just got too obnoxious. So what I was saying is that I told the guy, to be perfectly honest, I don't think it's going to work out because I would have to charge you extra in order for me to make it worth my while to come down. And he said, yeah, but I want you to do it. It sounds like you know what you're doing. And it's like, well, I do know what I'm doing, but I just don't think it's going to make sense in my world where I've got to make a profit because the travel time kills me. And he says, oh, no, I get it. I'll pay extra. How much is it going to cost? And I said, well, it's going to cost basically $50 extra. He's like, I'm okay with it. Sounds like you know what you're doing. I want you. So that's another lesson, is that it's interesting that if you, and this is where I try to drive home yet another point to you guys, is presentation really is king. You will not learn it overnight, okay? Now there's ways to present yourself as an expert physically. The van, truck, car you drive, do you keep it clean? Are you organized, as I've shown in my other videos? Do you present yourself as a professional? Do you have company shirts? How's your appearance? How's your hygiene? Trust me, it all matters. But on the phone, he's not seeing this, right? So now it's about verbal communication. And I can present myself as an expert, and I can talk the talk because I have walked the walk. Okay, that won't come at first. And that's a lot of it only where experience can come in. But just so you know, the more you do it, the more you learn. And every part of operating a business will be a learning curve, as it should be. It's not just, like I said at the beginning, not just about how to detail a car and getting it perfect. That will bog you down. You want to be able to turn a profit. So anyhow, that's that push and pull, that psychological trigger of people, where if you're a sales guy and you're being too salesy, like on the phone or in person, people will sense it, and guess what they do is they recoil, they pull back because you want something from them. Well, if you position yourself as an expert and you can talk the talk, which this is part of these videos, is helping you learn how to talk to people. If you can do that, people will think, oh, this guy's an expert, he can give me what I want. Now this may not be at the conscious level, but subconsciously they're picking up on it. And it's like, hey, I want him. Okay, so, and then you start pulling back where you're not desperate, and they can sense you're not desperate, and that you're talking from a position of power, not desperation. Guess what? They want more of you. They decide, hey, Darren, that's the guy I want. And then guess what happens? You can charge more, and you become more profitable. And now the job that you already love, which is detailing cars and making them perfect, guess what? Now you're getting paid more to do what you already love to do. Talk about a win-win, and everyone wins. The customer wins, you win, your life's better, his life's better. I mean, that's the winning combination. So let's go over the points. First thing is, in person, on the phone, you immediately want to build rapport. Be friendly, be personable. People want to do business with people they like. You've only got a few seconds to start building that trust, building that rapport, and creating that foundation of, gee, do I want to use this guy, or am I going to call around and see if there's a better alternative? So get people talking, ask them questions. Occasionally, I've had other videos about this where I ask too many questions because I like to do as much managing their expectations right out of the box. So I ask a lot of questions. So you will learn to do the same thing. Secondly is, rarely will people present it as it really is, like this guy. So when I went out there, and remember those keywords, a few spots. Okay, imagine the front end of basically a new Jeep. It looks brand new. They haven't changed the model. It's a darker burgundy metallic color, and literally imagine a fingernail paint. Okay, it's got a pretty thick brush. Imagine if you're painting a woman's fingernails. If you ever seen that, okay? I grew up with a bunch of women. I've seen it. So literally, this guy went around all these specks and chips in his paint and just wiped each of those chips as though he were painting fingernails. And so I'm looking at this front end, I'm going, are you kidding me? Who does this? Like, after the first or second swipe, where's the voice of reason in your own world, dude? Do you not get it? It's not working. And I don't know what's going through his head. Does he think that it's just magically going to dissipate and going to blend so perfectly as it dries that it's just going to be this perfect touch-up process? I have no idea. But when he was done, and I don't know at what point that he decided, wow, I really jacked up my car. But the point I'm trying to make is that he didn't tell me that. He just told me he touched up a few spots. When I got out there, I realized, okay, this is a classic case of where we have to repeat our mistakes, or I've got to fix someone else's work. Well, guess what? It's always more expensive to do it over than to pay to have it done right in the first place. And people will just have to learn the hard way. Trust me, I've had to learn many things the hard way because I decided to play cheap ass and think that I can do it or do it better or whatever. And then I realized, you know what? I suck at this. I just need to call a professional. So he calls me, I get out there. So that's the second point, is rarely is the situation as people present it. And that's why you have to ask the questions. You've got to dig in. It is a finesse. You've got to finesse the situation, because if you ask too many questions, yes, I've had people get irritated at me. But my response is, hey, you know what? I'm just trying to give you what you want. And this helps me because I'm not there. I can't see your car, right? No, you can't see my car. Well, that's why I have to ask so many questions, so I know that what I'm getting into, so that I can deliver your expectations. You want what you want, right? I want to give you what you want. So help me help you. And the only way I can do that is by asking you questions and assess. Now, when I get there, I can now see what I'm dealing with. And I can ask you further questions and ask you even more specific questions, so I can then really laser target in on what your expectations are, so that I can deliver on your expectations. So build rapport. People like doing business with people they like. Rarely will people represent it the way it really is. You've got to dig in and ask those questions. If you present yourself, and this is presentation is king, as an expert, which you should be, you may not know everything, but you can sound like an expert on a lot of things. They'll want more of you. So those are my tips today. I'm also going to throw in here a little scene, because this is what is also unique about the situation, is that this guy is calling me from the internet. Gotta love my websites. Thank you, the internet keeps me in business. His office is literally across the street from a hand car wash detail center that does touch-up paint. But he's not going to them. Why is that? Okay? There's many reasons why. I know why that is. Because he doesn't trust them. He sees unskilled laborers out there working on the car. So there's not much trust going on. He could have driven his car right across the street, or they probably would have been happy to come pick it up for him, do it, and bring it back. But no, he's calling on the phone. he now finds out that I'm gonna give him a surcharge of $50 on top of my normal rates just to make it worth my while. But there he is, willing to do it. So once again, presentation is king. If you learn how to talk the talk and understand the basics of human nature, it can work in your advantage, and you can get paid more for what you already love doing, and that's detailing cars. So let's go out and I'll take you on location and show you specifically, and then I even take a little side tour and show you just what a gorgeous day it is and just how fortunate I am as a person to be able to work within this world of Southern California. So let's go with that. Okay, here I am. I am on location in gorgeous, sunny Southern California. I'm down in Laguna Beach, South Laguna Beach. And if you look way off in there, you can see the ocean. I'll zoom in. So this is one of these moments that, you know, once again, I'm not trying to rub it in people's face, but I'm very fortunate, and don't think for a moment that I don't recognize that and appreciate it. But anyhow, here we are, and I just want to give you some perspective. So here's where I'm working, and right over there, I'll zoom in, is literally a hand car wash right on the corner, just, you know, 50, probably 75 feet from where I'm working at. So I just want to give you a little perspective. It's let's see if I can pull the signage in. All you can see is wash and hand wash right through there. So how's that for business in the world of mobile detailing? Okay, I couldn't resist. Sometimes you just gotta stop and smell the roses, or sometimes you just gotta stop and look at this amazing view. So I'm on my way home, driving along the coast. It is the middle of winter time. It is 70 degrees at the beach, and I'm in picturesque Laguna Beach, and I had to stop and also do this for my son, who is in the Canary Islands in Spain, so he can go online and check out my video. Anyhow, once again, I totally appreciate this world and the ability that I can do detailing in this kind of weather. So I feel for you guys that try to operate in some pretty miserable conditions. I don't have a specific answer. I just know if you have to get a job during the winter time, a different job, don't feel bad about yourself. You do what you take to survive, you know, and maybe the first few years you'll have to get a full-time job somewhere else, a job that you may not like, so you can detail in those months that you can, and do what you really love to do. So bottom line, when it comes to business, you just got to do what it takes sometimes.